Let's talk about your prospectus for the research paper. If you don't know, a prospectus is a document that communicates with your instructor about your research paper. This is different from a financial prospectus or a prospectus in other fields. This is an academic prospectus. This is included within the research paper category of your grade, so you want to make sure that you take this seriously. So first, you need to include a limited topic and a working thesis. Remember, your topic can't be something general. It can't be one of the general sample topics that I've given you. You have to customize it and narrow it down. And it does have to be causal analysis of a recent trend. Please go back and look at the research paper prompt if you're a little bit unclear about the topic. You also need to include a tentative thesis. Probably your thesis is going to change. In fact, if your thesis does not change at all throughout the writing process, that's probably a bad sign. So your thesis will change. It can be rough, but it needs to include an argument. For the second part, you need to include your reasoning, why you want to investigate this topic. Please make sure your answers are not generic. I should not be able to take your responses to question 2 and plug them into anyone else's prospectus. It shouldn't just be, I think this topic is interesting, so I want to study it. You have to include your specific reasons why you think it's relevant and interesting, right? It should be customized and specific. Why does your topic matter? What problems do you foresee? Again, these should not be vague general problems that are applicable to everyone, like I might procrastinate, or it might be difficult to find scholarly articles because the topic has to do with pop culture. They need to be really specific to your own topic. What cognitive biases, make sure you go back and look at those lectures, and logical fallacies. There are 2 big logical fallacies lectures from earlier in the semester, your own and other writers, should you consider when crafting your argument. Number 3, what do you need to learn about this topic and how will you find sources? So you might touch on the following. You don't have to answer all of these questions. These are just some suggestions. Who are the authorities on this topic? Once you start doing some preliminary research on your topic, you might notice that certain scholars or researchers or cultural critics are constantly referenced in works cited pages. That might mean that this person is an authority on the topic. So once you've read a few articles, or even once you've read the abstracts of a few articles, look at the works cited page and see if there are some authorities in that area. Is there a consensus about this topic? Do most writers or scholars or pundits believe one thing about this topic? Which article that we've read this semester inspired your topic? Remember, this is a causal analysis research paper, so you can use any of the topics that we've covered this semester, and then you can also use the student-generated topics from this week. I recommend doing some basic research using the library databases like Gale or Academic Search Complete. You can also use that one search button. You do need to do some preliminary research in order to complete this prospectus. The annotated bibliography is not due yet, so you do not need to include a works cited page, but you do need to do some basic research so you have a sense of what's out there, what the consensus on your topic is, and if this topic is even feasible, if there are enough sources that are similar to what you're arguing or that are relevant to your argument. And then part 4 is optional. You could include a rough outline or any questions that you have for me about your research paper.